It is GCSE results day for thousands of students across England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And the broadcaster, Nicola Thorp, is here. And ITV News correspondent, Rishi, Davda, who probably just did his GCSEs last week because he looks so young. But we know that that's not true, but you do look very young, Rishi, which is a good thing. But good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
And the thing that comes out at this time, just before, you know, the kids actually open their results, is that the results are known to the authorities and then they will make a decision and go, look, what are the trends here? And the trend is, again, it seems, that girls are outperforming boys at GCSE level, Rishi.
Yeah, having been a 16-year-old boy a fairly long time ago...
You say that.
It doesn't surprise me. Like, I remember always feeling like the girls around us were just a little bit further ahead in terms of their approach to academics and their desire to do well and their understanding that this might set you up for the future. That's not a hard and fast rule, obviously, but it's probably unsurprising that there is a trend leaning towards girls doing better, especially at this sort of age. But it's a nerve-wracking morning for a lot of people. Opening those envelopes, it's probably the first time for most students that they've had to open an envelope which is potentially dictating what might happen in the future.
And it's a reflection of you, isn't it? It's the first sort of official thing that says, are you working hard enough? What do we think of you, objectively speaking, as opposed to, you know... and what do you think about this idea, Nicola, that there is a trend, isn't there, for parents rewarding their kids? Well, is it incentivising them to work hard before the event, or rewarding them afterwards? I think is quite a different thing, actually. Incentivising them to work hard.
Sure.
I think is a little bit... It's not what I would do.
No, it's the gift of education, not enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it would necessarily work in the long run. In real life, you don't always necessarily get rewarded for achievements. It's perhaps just the taking part that counts, and that sense of fulfilment that you will get. Not everybody's an A student or a 1 or a 9, whatever they call it nowadays. But for a lot of people, I can totally understand a parent saying to a kid, look, just the amount of effort that you are putting into this, you deserve a reward. Never mind whether you get an A or A star, but just the amount of time and effort you're putting into it is worthy of a meal out or a small gift.
Yes, and I think that that's normal, but I wonder whether one of the things that we're reading about is that parents are often going, right, come on, you know, back in October, going, right, come on, you've got your mocks in January. Come on, look, if you put the effort in, maybe you'll get that PS5, maybe you'll get, you know, something that you want. Is that the right way to go about it, do you think?
I mean, I think it totally depends on the child, but I know personally, without an incentive, I wouldn't have even opened the textbook. It would have been covered in dust come the end of it. Yeah, 15, 16 years old. You think you know best.
You do.
You 100% don't. And I hate admitting this on TV, but my mum definitely was right and I should have worked harder.
Yeah.
And every time she told me to do a little bit more work and get engaged with what the teachers were saying, I was like, oh, you don't know, you're not at school, you don't understand. And actually, she was right, 100%. But not having an incentive for the end of it, like, I want to, you know, go on a trip with my friends, or I want to be able to buy that PlayStation game or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was for my GCSEs, but I remember for my AS levels, my dad said to me, if you do well enough, you can start learning how to drive.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
And that was a big thing.
But, Rishi, you worked very hard before this show. I've seen you making notes in your green room beforehand. And I suppose the reward is not being embarrassed on live television.
Yeah.
Well, there's still some time to go. You don't know what's going to happen.
You got 2 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
I can't even read my handwriting.
Were you good at exams?
I was a nerd, yes.
Oh, you see, this is the girl and the boy thing.
Yeah,
it's
very much a gendered stereotype. No, I stayed home and revised, and I would do extra revision just for fun. I was that, I know, I was that kind of person. But I've never needed those GCSEs, and actually, what I really ended up enjoying when I was 18 was practical stuff. I did drama at college. You know, I turned away from academic things, as some people probably might be able to tell, and I went for more creative.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Well, whatever happens today, it's just one moment, isn't it? It doesn't mean everything, but you just, you know, move on from it, don't you? And your path will take you wherever it takes you, I think.
It's a stepping stone.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. And now, this other story, actually, is really interesting. I've just read a review of it in The Telegraph this morning. Amanda Knox has been at the launch of a new drama based on her life. She's produced it. It's a mini-series. She's done it with Monica Lewinsky, of course, who we know has had her own controversies in public life. Rishi, just remind us of Amanda Knox. We all know the name, but just remind us of the actual case.
Yeah, so it was nearly 2 decades ago. So Amanda Knox, an American student, was accused of murdering her British flatmate, Meredith Kircher, alongside alongside her boyfriend, Rafael Solicito. They spent time in prison, were then let out after having maintained their innocence throughout, were then put back in prison again and finally reacquitted in 2015. They were initially convicted with a man called Rudy Guede, who was in prison until 2021 for the crime. So this drama series has been produced alongside Monica Lewinsky and stars Grace Van Patten, who is playing Amanda Knox, who's a famous American actress at the moment, kind of tied in with Disney+.
Well, this is causing controversy, of course, because Meredith Kircher's family have said, what is the point of this?
Yeah, there's already been a documentary, there's been podcasts, a memoir produced and written by Amanda Knox. Look, I really feel for the family. I think if you're going to make responsible true crime, you have to have the permission and consent and involvement of a family, unless, of course, they were implicated, which obviously wasn't the case here. But at the same time, Amanda Knox was also a victim in all of this, wrongly convicted twice. But more than that, it was the way that she was treated by the media. She was labelled as Foxy Knoxy. There was this salacious element to the story, which was entirely gendered and completely misogynistic. And I think we really need to look at the way that women, both as victims and as the accused, are treated in the wider media. Because women like her, women like Monica Lewinsky, are going to end up spending the rest of their lives trying to correct the record and retell that narrative. And I think that's part of what's going on here is reclaiming the narrative and their own story.
Yes. I mean, will you watch it, do you think? Are you tempted to watch it?
I think so. I think so. I think because it's likely to be a conversation topic and potentially be nominated for some awards.
Do you think?
Well, I think documentaries and drama series that touch on real-life aspects and kind of burrow into an area that people have a real interest in, especially now when you see not only do we have trial by social media, but social media is also digging into old cases and kind of bringing them up to the surface again. I think this will do exactly that. So I like to be aware of what's going on and what people are talking about there. But I agree that it's a lot of reclaiming the narrative idea. And I remember Monica Lewinsky saying when things have been said about her in the past or projects have been undertaken that involve her story, she'd rather be in the room and part of the conversation than have to be sat there like everybody else and pressing play when it's released and not knowing what's to come.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Telegraph has given it 2 stars, though. They sort of say it's sort of a lurid story, and they say it sets out to try and make you feel sorry for Amanda Knox, but in the end, you sort of somehow something is missing in that. I don't know, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because she is quite a divisive character, even though, of course, she was innocent of the,
but
crime
why
that
was
she was accused. But
why was she divisive?
Is
it because she didn't look like the perfect
And also, I think it's that you're meant to be more emotional and softer, aren't you? There's
if you're a woman.
As a woman in the public eye, people expect you to behave a certain way. Anyway, it'll be really, as you say, it will create more headlines once it's out there. This is Ethel Caterham from Surrey, who is celebrating her, wait for it, 116th birthday today. Oh, my goodness. She is believed to be the world's oldest living person, a title she has had since April. This was her celebrating her 115th birthday last year. Ethel was born in 1909 and is thought to be the last surviving subject of King Edward VII. Her late husband, Norman, died 49 years ago. Dr Hilary has joined us. I mean, it's a sort of freak of nature. She is a miracle amongst us, isn't she?
Yeah.
Is there a secret? I mean, we can't all obviously aspire to that, and maybe we wouldn't want to. We'll come to that. But what is her secret?
Well, first of all, happy birthday, Ethel.
Happy birthday.
Absolutely brilliant. And she attributes her longevity to her attitude to life. She says she never argues with anybody and does exactly what she likes.
Isn't that brilliant?
That's basically what she says.
Don't take on other people's stress. Just nod along.
Just go along with it.
Nod and then do what you want.
But the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition have identified 8 different things which are meant to extend your life by 24 years. And that includes diet, a healthy, well-balanced diet. It includes regular exercise, which will give you... prevent you having an early death by 30%. Yes. Excellent sleep, give you men 5 years longer, women an extra 2 years, etc., etc. Obviously not smoking, alcohol in moderation. You know, we
But you won't live to 116, but does where you live matter?
Yeah, absolutely it does, because there are things called blue zones around the world where people live longer and healthier. For example, Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Nicoya in Costa Rica, Ikaria in Greece, and Loma Linda in the USA. And this is where people eat a very healthy diet, do plenty of exercise.
What's going on in Loma Linda in America? Why that?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
That's so strange.
The
rest
out.
I sort of can understand in a way. The
Mediterranean diet,
you know,
dairy,
exactly.
No ultra-processed
foods.
Lots
of fish
or Coke.
in Japan, I imagine. Yeah, it's really fascinating, isn't it? Nicola, would you like to live that long?
I think it's about quality of life necessarily over quantity.
Absolutely.
But I think I really would, especially now I've got a little girl. I want to see her entire life too, sort of selfishly.
My gosh.
But yeah, I think if I had my wits about me and I felt like my quality of life was good, I would love to live to that and beyond.
Really?
Yeah.
There are loads of longevity clinics springing up everywhere now, where they do everything from measuring the length of your chromosomes, your hormone levels.
Well, that chap in America, Brian Johnson, isn't it, who does the whole Don't Die campaign, which is he is trying to be the person who lives the longest in the history
I mean, that's no quality of life.
No,
is it?
but it is fascinating, though. One of the things you mentioned, actually, there is good sleep and also rest. And we're going to talk about burnout. And there is this new study, isn't there, about... Well, Nicola, you've got this information as well, about how often you should have a break. Is that right? Every 43 days?
I believe so, yes. A psychologist has suggested that if we use the 43 rule, so 43-day rule for annual leave to avoid burnout. So essentially, every 43 days, which is around about 6 weeks, you should have some time off.
Even though you've had the weekends?
Even though you've had the weekend. Well, some people don't. Some people do work weekends, but yeah, including weekends, every 43 days have a week off. It essentially
a week.
It essentially reflects the school term, though. But I would say, as a parent and as of a young kid, you know, she's not too much trouble. I don't think going on holiday every 6 weeks is actually restful if you've got a small family.
But Hilary, so what's the underlying advice here, essentially? What is it tapping into?
So the psychologist has suggested that people get the well-being factor feeling for 43 days after a holiday. And therefore, if you have a break, doesn't have to be a week or 2 weeks, every 43 days, then you stay in tip-top condition and you feel happy. However, it might not suit your employer, that's one thing. And secondly, whilst you can have a really nice weekend break and you feel rested and calmer, it doesn't suit everybody. Some people take 2 weeks to unwind when they go away.
But
so
isn't
I think
that because they haven't been having the regular breaks? I sometimes think that we are all guilty of going, oh, I'll keep going until that, you know, that 1 week holiday in Tenerife, which is in wherever it is, months and months and months away. And by the time you get there, you're so tired. In a way, it's not long enough often.
And apparently, a lot of people don't actually take their full annual leave quota. I can't believe that. Why would you not do that?
But I think the interesting thing is what you said there is about, is a break really a break?
Yes.
Because I think if you are going to take a break, it does mean switch your phone off, don't be answerable to anybody.
For me,
let someone else have the kids for the day.
Exactly. A proper break is telling everyone that you're somewhere else.
Yes,
but you're actually
it?
just at home. Everyone else thinks you're either at work or on holiday, but you're not. You're at home with
you have. Now, Hilary, do you have any other tips then to prevent burnout if you can't actually do the 43
I think it's what we've just heard. It's turning your phone off. It's finding time to unwind, giving time for yourself, getting time for exercise and relaxation, putting yourself first sometimes, and then just making sure that you're able to switch off and enjoy life. So be sociable, all of those things.
Yeah, what I think is a really luxurious thing is to just have a nap during the day when you want it, which
Agreed.
you really can't do. You know, you think, I've got to go to the post office, I've got to do this, I've got to get the MOT for the car, and whatever. But actually, I just think, you know, sometimes you just think, oh, I could just fall asleep right now. And to have a day where you just go, well, I think I will.
Gorgeous.
Just take myself off to bed.
Sometimes you just need to delegate
in the
stuff
day
that you do to other people.
Yeah,
have a
that's
go.
true. Do you know what Gary Neville says? He likes to call his weekend a mini retirement. So every 5 days.
Golf.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weekend.
He covers sport at weekends.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't make sense.
Nicola, you're allowed to go and have a rest now if you'd like.
I'm going to have a nap right here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you've been in for 43 minutes this morning. You're allowed a break. Oh, hi there. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel where we upload new videos every single day. Click here if you're interested in this video or head to the homepage for more amazing content.